Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello ladies, welcome to my spot. Low-level players. Let me start off from the rip because I'm gonna go in a little bit on what I describe as low-level players, right? And I'm not betraying any man code or anything because I don't consider these type of guys on my level any goddamn way. The men on my level are the select men, right? They the select, right? Whether, they're going to have their shit together. They try and do some positive things, stable, and probably knock you out in the bedroom and stuff, or at least if they ain't doing none of that other stuff, at least they good in bed, right? That's my crew, the select men. Now, the low-level players, they're a group of non-select dudes who generally most women are going to reject them. Most sensible women are going to reject them. Yet, despite that, you got some low-level players that managed to get a bunch of women, right? They managed to get women. Now, and even in some cases, they can look like to the uninitiated, they can look like they missed a good ball or like they the top of the game. Now, the low-level players, they usually those dusty dudes who be having a lot of women, right? Those dusty dudes, they might be working, they the guys who might be 40, 50 years old, working, going from job to job, staying on some couch or something, or don't really have much to show in it. Like, that's dusty. Like, most women who got some sense going to call them dusty, right? They're going to call him Dusty, or something about the dude who's just, really not that attractive to, 95% of the women that's going to see them. Yet, some of those dudes can be some big players. I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of women out there, y'all some pick-me's. And y'all know what pick-me mean. Y'all so desperate for male attention for a guy that you're going to deal with them. Now, usually what happens in the case, I'll put it like this. A woman who I say she may be educated, she, keeps herself in shape, goes to the gym, decent shape, keeps her looks up and stuff, and her mental health is within range of normal in this society. I don't know what's normal in this society anyway, but, she's functional enough that she can keep her bills paid. It ain't too much. She can keep a job for a consistent period of time, right? She probably wouldn't have the word flighty or flaky applied to her, right? With her stuff together. She ain't gonna fuck with one of these low-level players. When her shit with a woman, that's one thing. And I'm gonna just say this. No shade against any non-black women on here, but ain't nothing like a black woman, especially you got a shit together somewhat and got some sense. Ain't nothing like it. That's part of the reason why I do this, right? But then you got a lot of women, and this goes across all races, who don't have that good sense. They don't have just on some basic stuff. Like, this the type that, and I've met plenty across the races. It's like, it's almost like, I don't know how to describe them, because like I said, I've met plenty. I've known plenty of black ones, but I've met some white ones too, and sometimes they just have some stuff going on with them. Could have some mental health issues. They might be the type who use drugs. They go from job to job, usually end up like that older woman working a minimum wage job somewhere. They might have had kids. It's like their financial position. They're probably getting state assistance on some level. They got to hustle for 2 or 3 jobs just to keep a roof over their head, something like that, right? It's just. And the thing is, with some of those women, they tend to be pick-me's. What I mean by pick-me's, because of that position, a lot of times, the most attractive I've seen of that type is usually like a 6 or something. All right. but usually the women are usually in that 3-4 range. And to the point, this is how you know a woman is kind of there. The average guy, if given a chance to get with that woman, probably wouldn't mess with her. Because most of, like I said, most of them aren't going to be that physically attractive. And it's going to have enough issues where the guy's like, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like, especially if he's a successful brother, or regardless of race, successful man who, he got enough. I mean, he got decent money. He got stuff in his bank account. He got plans. And he carries himself like he got some sense. Basically a select male, right? And I don't like using the term alpha, but a select male wouldn't mess with him. That type of woman, even if the woman were to offer him sex, like just straight up, like she can walk up to him, like somehow get to know him and say, look, she want to have sex with me, and dude will just look at her like, and this could be a dude that haven't had sex in 6 months, and he'll still look at her like, nah, I'm good, right? But those type of women are fodder for the low-level players, the gamesman type of player. Like that funky Jerome type of player, right? Like, I remember I was coming out of a department store, right? I went to my car, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw a dude look like he was in a state of bliss, right? He was sitting in the passenger seat. All of a sudden, I saw this pick-me type of woman, like, raise her head up, smiling and stuff, and then tried to kiss him. That was a funny part. She tried to kiss him. Dude was like, That's that type. But if you look at dude, I'm just be real. Dude don't look, he wasn't that type. First of all, he in the passenger seat, which meant it wasn't his car. That's the first clue right there. If you could have, like, those low level players really don't have their own shit like that, so they're gonna be consistently riding somebody else's thing, right? But they find those low level pick me type of women who just pressed, right? And I'm gonna tell you what, and this is why I'm telling the ladies this, and the reason that I'm even doing this, cause I got a lot of women. Cause Rom, I know a lot of women. I know a lot of pick me's too. I know a lot of pick me's. Like, they good people, but they really, honestly, you just need maybe therapy, some good help, a really kind dude to take pity on them, mess with them for about 6 months. But usually, they got some bum type of dude, and they think it's cool. They happy and shit. And sometimes I've known at least 3 of these women thought they were gonna marry this dude, this low level dude, and dude was just really on that game. And like I said, this is a low level game. This ain't the type of thing anybody even teaching. It's just you get some dudes, they know how to spot them. In fact, I've been, without getting too personal, I've been seeing this shit since I was little. For people familiar with Southeast DC, I've been seeing cats like that go through the neighborhood all the time, mess with all like the welfare moms and stuff like that who don't look good enough to get a baller. Like the neighborhood D-boy or something. Because, like I said, usually if you find a 6, that's extraordinarily attractive for a pick-me, right? So you get those players like that, and, the women, they press. They ain't getting play from anybody else, so they deal with it. So that dude walking around like he the man. But the thing with the woman got to understand, and this is the main reason why I'm doing this, the woman got to understand that's not the dude you want to mess with. He's not going to upgrade you, because first of all, that dude ain't taking you seriously. That dude ain't trying to get married. That dude just, understand something. That dude is just straight for the pussy. In fact, some levels you can deal with them easy because they can understand that shit. They just straight about getting the pussy. The women be all ready and shit, but nah, they just straight about getting the pussy and all that, right? And so some women gotta avoid them. Now, most women going to avoid them. But if you listening and you really on that pick me thing, you just press, but Mr. Goodbar ain't messing with you. That pretty boy ain't messing with you. And that guy, that guy with that 6 figures and a big house and E-class, you really know he ain't gonna mess with you, because those dudes are pricky as hell. So you get caught up with that low level player because, one, you pressed. That's the first thing. And I had a female friend tell me that years ago, and this is a woman who consistently had dudes propose to her and stuff, but she said, I say, how you do it? Other women don't do it. She said, I ain't pressed. But she's also a professional. got her own home, all that stuff. Got her mate, she good. But she said the women press, and that's, and I even said that in my book, A Player's Eyes. Right? I said that in my book, A Player's Eyes. I said usually those type, they are very good in finding the easy women. And like I said, I've known that across, because, I've worked every place. So, you especially find them in retail or like lower paid positions, service positions, stuff like that. Right? I better not give away too much. Somebody listening taking notes. And I like making people pay for any like real insight. But it's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. I can already tell. If I talk to a woman, I can look at her, then ask her what she do for a living, where she live, and I can tell her what type of dude gonna try to get at her, and that she'll fall for. So, anyway, right? That's it. Just wanted to share that because I'm trying to help the ladies. Look, my thing on this channel, because I know some dudes, hey Rob, you giving away the game. This ain't for this page is for the guys listening. I'm doing this for the stable, good guys. I'm letting the women know what's up, what they gotta do. All right. So, part of that is I gotta let them know the pitfalls, because I've actually met a lot of them. They actually good people. They ain't good people, but they just get caught up with the wrong dudes. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.